welcome into episode 3 of No Bowl. The Bulls are storming right now. Last 3 or 4 since episode 2. How we feeling, Z-Nove?
I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent right now. Obviously they've looked good, but they haven't really played any extremely tough competition either. So, their toughest competition was the Raptors, and they lost to the Raptors. So,
which was a tough game, which was a typical Bulls game this season. Didn't play good down the stretch, but
yeah, and they always kind of struggle against the Raptors. The Raptors match up really well with them. So, and then obviously, adding Pirtle at the trade deadline made them even stronger. And I think they're a lot lower in the standings than they probably should be, just with the talent on their roster. So I don't know. I mean, disappointing, but they were in that game from start to finish. So I guess can't complain too much. But yeah, I mean they've definitely looked good. Besides tonight, the fourth quarter collapse was kind of terrifying, but they withstood it, and it's the second night of a back-to-back, so kind of expected for them to come out in that second half a little sluggish and be tired and whatnot. So.
Yeah, which they still ended up pulling it out, so you can't be too mad. But
yeah.
Obviously the obvious factor here in the last 4 games is Patrick Beverley. Before we started recording, you were talking about his plus minus, which is something around plus like 14 or something nutty.
Yeah. So the official number is 12.8.
Yeah, which is great.
The Bulls score almost 13 more points than their opponent when Patrick Beverley's on the court. That's ridiculous. Obviously, a very small sample size with only 4 games, but you also have to take into consideration that his shooting splits right now are awful, absolutely atrocious. Shooting 39% from the field, 17% from 3, and 45% from the free throw line in those 4 games as well. So I would have to imagine if he starts hitting his shots, that number would go up.
Yeah, which again, like what we said before we even acquired him, that's not what he's here for.
Yeah, I mean, if he could just provide the Bulls with like 35% from 3, I think that would be more than they want. Because obviously he's proven it already that he doesn't have to shoot the ball well to bring an impact. So I think, like I said, if he can just bring those up to about his career average, which I think is around 36, 37%, that would be more than enough for what the Bulls need.
Yeah, I mean he's obviously been. I think if the Bulls play like this all season against everyone, we'll all take it.
Yeah,
they're definitely looking at a playoff spot if that's the case.
Yeah.
Tonight a lot of people have been looking at like his assist numbers haven't been too crazy, and tonight he had a double with rebounds and assists,
which is ridiculous from your 6'1" point guard. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just a little nutty.
Absolutely crazy.
He's obviously, I think even Stacey King said it a couple times tonight. He's just talking a lot on the floor, getting a lot of guys, especially talking to Levine. Don't worry about that assist number. You're a scorer. Go score some points.
Yeah, exactly. And there was also a certain time in the game, I forget exactly when it was, but Vooch missed a rotation, on a very wide open drive straight to the paint for someone. I don't know who it was on the Pistons, maybe Diallo. And Vooch never rotated, and Pat Bev was over there talking to him, and they kind of got like a little heated, it seemed like. But you could tell like Pat is very persistent on trying to help team, and he maybe comes off a little like aggressive, but he doesn't seem to mean it that way. He just really cares about seeing the team succeed. Just based on the stuff I've heard from him on his podcast and kind of what I've seen just from the eye test of watching him play basketball. He seems like he just really wants the team to win, and he maybe goes a little overboard sometimes with being aggressive with talking to his teammates, but at the end of the day, I think it's something this team needs.
Yeah, it's something the average NBA player definitely needs. So
yeah,
you definitely say that.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit into Goran Dragic getting cut. As we said in the last episode, we were really happy he was here to stay, and obviously he is not here to stay.
Yeah. Obviously I'm disappointed. I think, he seemed to really like it here. He was a good mentor for the young guards, and he just doesn't really bring anything that the Bulls need right now, to be honest. Like, we were log jammed at the guard position, and especially at point guard. The Bulls have 3 to 4 guys that can, handle the ball, and so there's just no real spot for him on the team. And I think, the front office kind of did their due diligence with that and just let him go explore other options. I know the Mavericks may be interested and some other teams, so he just kind of had injuries catching up with him and wasn't really shooting the ball too well, so just is what it is. Sucks, but
yeah. And I guess we'll probably see a roster move here with the Bulls. We didn't really see a roster move yet.
Yeah,
as far as Dragic being cut, everybody's pointing at Derrick Rose, but we'll
I think the deadline is tomorrow for them to be playoff eligible, right?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest.
I think it's sometime this week. I think it might be tomorrow, so they're gonna have to act fast on that. I did read into the Derrick Rose situation a little bit, and he basically said he doesn't want to be cut. So I don't know if that'll happen. I would love for it to happen, but I would rather go out and get, this may be a hot take, but someone like Carmelo Anthony. I think
definitely been in the Bulls' eyes for a very, very, very long time.
I think he won't play a lot, maybe really at all. But I do think he would be a great mentor for, although Zach LaVine is obviously a established all-star in this league. I do think that Melo could help him out a little bit. Maybe just kind of in crunch time situations, Zach tends to get very careless with the ball and maybe a little overwhelmed.
Right. And
I think Melo could kind of help coach, some of that calmness into him a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and we obviously have a lot of scorers, and Melo could definitely teach a thing or two. And and Melo can probably still put up some good numbers, and we don't really have a forward. Well, I shouldn't say that with Pat Will, but we don't really have a bigger forward that can be a bucket like Melo can down the stretch.
Exactly. There's some other good names on the buyout market as well, or just in the free agency pool, but Melo's the first name that comes to mind, but I'm sure there's other names that the front office is probably looking at. So we'll just have to see if it's going to happen. It's probably going to happen today, because like I said, I think the deadline for playoff eligibility is today.
All right.
Or tomorrow.
So I guess before we really wrap up here, just looking forward to the next 3. On Friday night, we have the Phoenix Suns, which should be a very tough cookie, especially with Kevin Durant making his debut tonight.
That's probably a loss.
Yeah, probably a loss, but I mean, with the way the Bulls play this year, who the hell knows?
True.
Indiana on Sunday, and then Denver on Wednesday, so definitely a tougher schedule coming up, and we'll definitely see how that plays out. I think if the Bulls take 2 of 3, that would be more than happy.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think if they can manage to bring home 2 or 3, especially one of those being against Indiana, they need to beat Indiana
for sure.
Let me double check on the standings here. Yeah, so Indiana's behind them, but only 1 game back. So
yeah, it's quite the log jam down where the Bulls are right now.
Yeah, so Indiana's a must-win. Obviously, would love to win the other 2, but I think if they can just bring home one of those 2, very, very, I think the whole fan base would be very happy with that.
Right, like I said, with the log jam down there, if the Bulls can just play like they did the last 4 games, we're definitely looking at the playoffs. So
yeah,
there's not too much to complain about.
The Bulls are pretty bad on the road, so if I had to guess if they're gonna beat either Phoenix at home or Denver on the road, I would have to guess it's gonna be Phoenix at home. but you never know with this team. So
and who knows? Katie's settling in, and a riled up Patrick Beverley, which we love.
Oh God.
Who knows?
He's gonna be going at him.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what he's here for. So
he's gonna get 30 dropped on his head if he tries to go Kevin Durant.
Who knows? Pisses him off enough till Katie's just mad dogging him. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, I think at least for tonight, I don't really have much else.
Yeah, there's not a lot going on. Just obviously games, So
yeah, we're coming down the stretch. Obviously, I suppose these episodes will get a little bit longer the closer we get to playoff time.
Yeah, just not a lot of transactions obviously going on with the trade deadline pass. So
yeah,
not a whole lot to talk about. Just
the Bulls heating up a bit, which we love.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, that's suppose that's episode 3 of No Bull. And we'll smell y'all later. Peace out.
Peace.